how's it going? And this is just a follow-up to my extremely unpopular video on Dr. Event Maker, also known as the multi-slot professor. And I just wanted to remake this because there was something I found out about it that I don't think I made clear in the last tutorial, and I just didn't, I don't know, it was kind of frustrating me. But anyway, to do this, it's pretty simple. We're just going to get a cube here, and we're going to animate it on 2 dimensions. And Dr. Event Maker only works with one object. It only allows the manipulation of animations within the same object. It can't trigger like another object. It can only trigger within itself. So if I had 9 tracks of animation on here, one track could trigger the other 8, but it couldn't trigger another object somewhere else. The other thing I learned is that it can only be triggered by these X and Y and Z values on the position. It can't be triggered by stretching. The rotation cannot trigger the scale or something like that. The position is what triggers everything. So what I found out what that means is for the Dr. Event Maker to work, you have to have some animation on either your X, Y, and Z position, which was very difficult to figure that out. So anyway, I'm going to make this a 240 frame animation, and then I'm just going to drag the playhead to the end here, and then it doesn't have to be much of an animation though, so I'm just going to put 0.2 there for my X value. So what that means is at 0.2 I'm at 240 frames, which means at 120 frames I should be about 0.1. Like so, if I go to 120 frame, you'll see I'm at 0.1. So let's say I want another animation within this object to occur at the 120th frame. Well, that would be the value of 0.1. So now for that next animation, what could it be? Well, it could be anything you can manipulate here on these values. So let's say I just want to scale this or stretch this on the Y. So that's my animation right there. You know, just for fun, I could even say go ahead and let's rotate it on the B too. So now if I look at my total animation, it's this. It's scaling, it's stretching, and it's turning all at once, right? And it's subtly moving from left to right. So that is on the B and on the scale, the Y scale. Those are my animations that are happening. Let me just double check that. Yeah. Okay, now with that done, all I have to do is hit M. Now the thing is too is you could keyframe all this, but I think that Event Maker just makes it a little more potentially convenient. So anyway, we're going to go add modifier, relativity expression module, double click into that. We click here where it says variable. We can go ask a professor, go Dr. Event Maker, and we have to tie it to the object that we created, the new cube object, and go OK. Now here is going to ask, enter the channels on which you'd like the event on. So it's basically asking, what do you want us to animate? So I could say, well, I want to animate it was the Y scale, and it was the bank too, or was it it was the bank too, wasn't it? The bank, yeah. I want to animate these 2, and I don't want them to start animating until I get to the 60th frame, which is a value of 0.1 down here, right? It's going to be 0.1. When do I want this animation to start playing? Well, it's a 240 frame animation. If I put this from like 60, if I put it from like 120 to 240, it's going to show that animation it's going to show this item at what it would look like at the 120th frame, which I don't want that. So I'm going to say I want this just to play for, let's say, the first 120 frames, because I want it to start at the beginning at the 0 value or the beginning values. So I want it to play for the first 120 frames, and I go like that. And then I go OK, OK, continue. And what should happen is you'll see the cube moving just a little bit to the side, but the other 2 dimensions, the rotation and the scaling, won't happen until we get to about the 120th frame. So let's see if that's what happens. There it's just barely moving, and at 120 you see it kick in. So it's just another way of kind of keyframing things, but I think it has some application. So I'm going to try to explore that. So I will be back with some more tutorials on this. So anyway, take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.